I know. I know. Doing something new is scary and it can be exciting and it can be wonderful. And ultimately, it can be, honestly, it can be terrible, right? I mean, it's part of why we don't do new things all the time, is because the idea of it, the very idea of it is so big, so scary, so out there that it keeps us from trying something new. And so, to that end, I want to share with you a story about a girl, a hat, and a paddle. Also known as, out to sea, but with a paddle. I am so glad to see you here. For those of you who I have not yet met in person, my name is Amber Griffiths, and I am a brand strategist. I'm a maker of legends. It's what I do, it's what I love, and I'm just thrilled that you're here to do it with me. So grab your pack, crank that speaker to 11. Welcome to Legend. I'm on an adventure. I'm on a legend adventure as only one can be, trying new things. One of the things that I'm noticing is that having a child makes you do weird stuff. Having a child makes you go beyond what is comfy, go beyond what is the norm, all in the name of, I want to give you an experience. I want you to have something that I didn't. I want you to take this thing called quarantine, take this thing called we've been stuck in the same four walls for 19 months together. Let's try something new. Let's try a different way to do things. Um, Last year, we trick or treated in a really different way. We trick or treated with about 30 different people, but none of them outside of our home. And I will tell you that story. Remind me to tell you that story next week about how my daughter got to trick or treat with several strangers, all of whom she knew. But one of the things that we decided to do is go kayaking. I have to acknowledge this was not on my radar. This was not something I thought about, dreamed about, thought, ooh, I know, I'll try this. Never has this been a part of it's not on my bucket list. I guess I should be grateful for that, right? It wasn't on the bucket list and it's already crossed off. So, yay, I don't know. Um, but here's the thing, we are hanging out in this new adventure land. And one of the opportunities came and said, hey, you know what? We should go kayaking. And this was on a Thursday. And we scheduled, we're like, you know what, why not? I couldn't think of a really good reason why not to do it. There were all these reasons to do it. It was new, it could be exciting, it could be fun, it would give us a story. Because honestly, even if it doesn't go well, you go for the story, right? Because at least you walk away going, oh my gosh, there was this one time when. So we had it scheduled for Sunday. And the cute little tour guides called a couple days ahead and said, hey, the weather's looking really bad. I think we need to bump you to Saturday. Now, in my little world, that's not a thing. Not because I'm super rigid when it comes like that, but if I'm going to go try something new and if I have something planned, I like it to stay planned. Can you relate to that? Like you get emotionally, mentally prepared to go out and do this crazy thing, and then it shifts, especially if it goes earlier, then it's like, what? That wasn't part of the plan. It's okay. We got there. Now, again, this has never been a thing that I wanted to go try. It's just you and this little boat. I would not say flimsy. It's a good solid boat, but I got to be in there with a stranger. There's two places to sit. And so the person behind me was not someone I knew. My spouse and my daughter were in another kayak. There were a couple other people with us. But here's my question for you. Have you ever tried to do something so completely, like, I love to swim. I'm not a go sit on the beach and soak up the sun kind of a person. I like to beach shop occasionally, but mostly I want to sit in the shade somewhere and read a book or take a nap. Like the mountains are so much more my thing than a beach. So this comes up and it's like, well, how do we prepare for this? We have 3 days. How do we get excited and prepare without over preparing, without getting so much in our heads that we just call it all off? That's my speak. Um, so do you do a lot of research for it? Do you ask a lot of people? Like, do you check into testimonials? Do you, I mean, because part of what I'm thinking is I'm like, I've never done anything even like this. I mean, I'm like, I've been snorkeling. I have been, I'm thinking, okay, well, do I wear a swimming suit? But the water's cold. And so then doing some more research. Oh, no, 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 no. no swimming suits. Please don't wear jeans. I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl. No, no jeans and t-shirts. Wear something more workout-ish. Okay, got it. Check. So I started doing all this research, realizing that everything that I had done before, all this other stuff that I had put together saying, okay, when we go out on the water, it looks like this, all gone, all wrong, all completely different. When I go out on the water, it's all about, we take this off, we let things go, we take off the layers so that we can go out into the water. Kayaking is about layering on. You put on the warm and the warm and the warm, and then the waterproof, and then some more warm, and then you do gloves and the hat. I mean, and then of course the life jacket. So it's all about layering on. So part of that was I had no idea. Not only did I not know what to expect, but I didn't even know how to prepare for it without doing a lot of research. And then there was a whole bag of stuff we took with us that was our just in case bag. I'm a just in case person. Whenever I go someplace, I have stuff that, well, just in case we need this. Well, yes, we could probably go to the store and get it, but I don't want to have to go to the store and get it. I have it here. We're going to take it just in case. So, as much as I like to try new stuff, I do have a safety net almost always of some kind. Yeah, I didn't have that other than, well, I'll get a towel, I'll take some water. I mean, basic stuff. So we get it out into the water. And for about the first 25 seconds, I am absolutely tense. Like it's beautiful. And we're going to get out past, there's a great big ferry on the left. And we're like, we got to get past that because that's going to create some really great big waves. And I'm trying to get used to how I can, the paddle. Yes, that's the motion. That's the paddle. Um, but all I could think of is if we tip over, what's the worst that could happen? Like I have to go to my really, really dark place in order to see that it's going to be okay. Have you ever done that? Have you ever thought, okay, if I do this new thing, if I try this new thing, if I go to this new place, if I talk to this new person, if I launch this new thing, the worst that can happen is they say no, right? But honestly, that's not actually the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is that you don't try. So I'm sitting there in the kayak feeling and all buttoned in. So really, it's just my arms that are out. And I'm thinking, if this tips over, I'm hosed. Like, I can't do anything about it. I can't go anywhere. I'm just in this little boat. Um, so I can either, as I see this great big wave coming, I mean, great big. I'm a newbie. It really was not a big wave, but I see it coming and it hits us on the side, which is, it shouldn't, you should do everything you can to hit it straight on. Always assess your damage. Always go directly into the danger, is what I found out. And I feel it. I'm like, I feel every single bone in my body clench. I feel all of my muscles clench. And I think, okay, but I'm already here. I can't change the wave. The person in the kayak behind me is in charge of steering, such that there is in a kayak. I can literally do nothing to change that wave. I can't somehow, I mean, as it's coming, I'm like, I could lean, but then it rocks us. So I'm like, I can sit here tense, realizing that this particular tour group has never had a boat capsize. Like this, seriously, I did all my research. They've never had anybody tip over. These kayaks really are well built and specifically for this trip. So as I'm sitting there clenched, thinking, this is a 2 hour tour, a 2 hour tour. 2 hours. Do I not exhale for 2 hours? Do I just be completely miserable? Now, here's the other thing. Please, friend, keep in mind, it's not just me out on the water. I've got my little girl and my spouse in a completely different kayak, and I'm watching them hit wave after wave, not being able to do anything to help them either. As they get further away from the group, and then they come stir back in, and as they get turned around, I can't do anything to impact that. I know I know that there are times in your life when you can relate to that, where you're like, there's all this stuff happening and I can't change anything. I can't impact it. I can sit here and watch it and I can sit here and worry. But really what I finally decided, and thank goodness it didn't take that long. I realized that here I am in this boat. I said yes, I'm here, I did it. I'm like all in. Because if it's worth doing well, it's worth overdoing, right? It was my dad's own version of if it's worth doing well. And if it's worth doing well, it's worth overdoing. So by all means, don't go for a half-hour trip. Go for a 2 hour tour. in October. But I realized that the more I was worried about what was going on out there, the more miserable I was, the less fun, the more clenched, the more stressed, the more worried. And my being upset, my being tense and stressed wasn't changing the outcome at all. Me keeping trying to look over my shoulder was actually causing more stress to my kayak than anything else. So how do you respond to something like that if once you decided you're going to do it and you're there and you're in, what is your response system when a great big wave hits you on the side? What's the response when the person behind you takes a phone call in the middle of the kayak? So you know they're not actually paddling anymore, and it's a weird place to take a phone call. I think the middle of Puget Sound is a weird place to take a phone call. That's all. And I adore her. She was really cute. But at some point, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? How do you respond to something like that? Here's the thing, this adventure, this thing we decided to do, the whole reason we did it was to have an adventure. The whole reason we did it, the whole reason we left our same four walls at all was to experience something new. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew it was going to be exciting. We knew it was going to be fun. We knew it was going to be terrible and scary and wonderful. That's once the decision's done, that's it. Now you get to choose how you respond to it. You get to choose how you engage with it. Do you still continue to look out at all the things and compare what everybody else is doing to what you're doing? Or do you just roll with it? Do you see those great big waves and think, oh my gosh, that wave is going to knock us over? It's so big, it's so terrible, and get all worked up, only to realize that, that wave actually is not a big deal. By the time it gets here, this boat is totally designed to handle that. It's all good. And just the next time, just relax and enjoy the ride. Because really, what I was looking for here was a kind of a submersive, no, not submersive, immersive. Please, no, on a kayak, no submersive experience. I wanted an immersive experience and I loved it and it was fun. I just encourage you. I want you to try something different, something so out of your comfort zone, something so different and crazy that all you can think of is, well, I got my hat and a paddle and I'm just going to go ride the waves for a minute. It happens all the time. When was the last time you released something new, launched something new, tried a new group, tried a new approach, took on a new client, became a new client for somebody? Now it's just about how you respond. You can't change that, but you get to respond to it like a pro. You get to respond like a legend. I'm so excited that you're on this adventure with me. Thank you so much. And congratulations for whatever new, wonderful, amazing, scary, fabulous, marvelous thing you're doing today. Until I actually get to see you in person and give you a big hug, stay safe and rock on.